Another day, another pointless rematch has been announced by the UFC. Uh, so for some reason, I have no absolute reason why the UFC matchmakers have got so lazy. Like they generally have got so lazy. They just see like two guys who have fought before and they say, "Oh, let's run that one back. Why not?" Everyone loves rematches apparently. So Mateus Nicolau is fighting Manel Kape in January on January 13th. I believe it's going to be a main event. Uh, I I don't know. It doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Nicolau coming off a KO loss to Royval, and Manel Kape is like arguably like a win or two from getting like a title shot or a title like a number one contender fight. Like the clear fight to make was Manel Kape versus Kai Kara France. I don't know if they offered it and maybe Kai Kara France refused or something, but I don't know. It makes no sense in my opinion. Like, I don't know, they're generally just getting so fucking lazy with their matchmaking. They're just going, yeah, we'll just put a rematch together. Who cares? You know, people will watch whatever we want. Like, I'm sick of them. I'm sick of all these fucking rematches. They don't get me hyped. They just don't. Like, I want to see people who haven't fought before fight. I want to see how different styles match up. I don't want to see the same style and the same guys fight over and over again. It gets boring, man. Like, in my opinion, it's just not entertaining to see the same guys keep fighting and fighting. Obviously, there's exceptions like Moreno versus Figueiredo. Yeah, all them fights were good, but this fight just doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make any fucking sense why they're doing this fight. Like, Cape's on a good run at the moment, and he should be looking for like a Kai Kara France fight. Like, he generally, it should be, they should be rebooking that fight. I don't know why they're not. Like, I don't know. This isn't even a good fight. The first fight wasn't even that crazy in my opinion. I get the Cape got robbed, like he should have won that fight, but I don't know. I just don't like this fight. Another fight that I guess makes a bit more sense that's apparently in the works, but it is from Ariel Helwani, and apparently according to Ariel Helwani, the fucking UFC are out to get him. Apparently, they're saying that when he announces something, the UFC come out and they take it away. They said, "No, we have to make him look. We have to delegitimize Ariel Helwani," according to Helwani himself. You know, because he did announce that they were going to do Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira in Canada, and then afterwards it was, "What the heck? They only did that because I announced it." It's like, no, I doubt that's the case. I doubt the UFC really give a shit what Ariel Helwani says. But yeah, according to Errol Horney, they're going to do Jan Blachowicz versus Alexander Rakic. I get that one makes a bit more sense, but at the same time, like Rakic just like his last fight was Blachowicz. Like I don't know, I feel like that is a bit weird to just run that fight back already. Like it went 3 rounds. It wasn't like it was a robbery or anything. Like Jan was winning on the feet from memory. Rakic was winning with the grappling and everything, but like it was literally Jan did that to fucking Rakic. He was the one kicking up his leg and everything. So it is weird to run that one back instantly, in my opinion. I feel like Rakic probably should have had to have beat someone else, like Krylov. Krylov makes way more sense. Rakic versus Krylov is literally right there. Krylov deserves like a top 5 opponent, in my opinion. Like he's on a really good run, but they just said, nah, fuck, fuck Nikita Krylov. Apparently, like who is Krylov gonna fight? Walker's probably fighting Ankalaev. Rakic is apparently fighting Blachowicz. Yuri's fighting Alex Pereira. Obviously, that's going to be this weekend. So I guess Anthony Smith versus Nikita Krylov can happen. I don't know. Just feel like these matchups are getting so lazy. Like the UFC just it's turning into fucking boxing with how they do this shit. Like every single fight just turns into a rematch. Like we're not allowed to have fresh matchups at this point. Like I don't know, the UFC have some sort of rematch fetish where it's like, oh, fight again, please. Oh, good. Oh my god, they're fighting again. Oh my god. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I really don't fucking get this. Makes no sense. Like generally, what sense? Like what does Manel Cape get from this? Yeah, he can avenge his loss, loss, but it's it just doesn't make any sense. Like he's only fighting two spots up. Fucking Kai Kara France was right there. He could have got an Amir Al Bazi fight. That would have been good. You could have done Moreno versus Cape. Like there were so many better matchups than this one. Like I don't know. This just this fight generally makes no sense. It should have been like Makayev should have been looking for a Nick Lau fight for his next step up, and then it should have been Kate versus Kai Kara France. So I don't know. Maybe they're going to do Muhammad Makayev versus Kai Kara France, which is actually a pretty interesting stylistic matchup. But actually, they'll probably just do Muhammad Makayev versus Cody Durden again. Since they have like this whole rematch fetish, or maybe they'll do Muhammad Makayev versus Tim Elliott again. Maybe the first, what happens if that fight leaves that third round? Tim Elliott wins, so maybe they'll run that fight back, even though it just happened, because the UFC love to do instant rematches now. It's their little kink. They've turned into boxing with all these rematches. They're not prioritizing the fresh matchups anymore. Like I don't know, generally sort of does annoy me a bit, for being honest. Okay, not a bit. It really does frustrate me. It's one of the worst things about the UFC at the moment is their constant use of rematches. Like they just don't make any sense sometimes, man. Like if a rematch makes sense, then yeah, fair enough. But some of these are just lazy matchmaking, in my opinion. I don't know. It's crazy, but I don't know. I generally don't know. I'm getting the UFC leaving me speechless. It's I don't know. Like, yeah, they put on great fights, man, but do they have to keep running all these fights back? Like, we just had last weekend Dontel Mays versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Like, why the fuck did that happen? That fight made absolutely no sense at all. Like, are the UFC matchmakers, are they hiring new matchmakers and they don't fucking remember that these guys have all fought before? Like, these guys have like I don't know. I feel like they just like they just get lazy and they say, yeah, let's just run this one back, or they don't remember that these guys have fought, which I think is probably a more likely scenario at this point in time. Like maybe the UFC generally just didn't know that these guys have fought before, which just speaks to the incompetence that the matchmakers have nowadays. Like their constant use of rematches that is just showing that they're not as passionate about their job anymore. Like they're just like, oh, yeah, just put these two together. Yeah, they'll be fine. Maybe I'm making bit maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of this because it just personally does annoy me. But yeah, maybe like I say, maybe I'm just overreacting here. But it's been driving me mad for a while. Like so many title rematches too. Like fucking where do I even start with the title rematches, man? Where do I even start? It's just I don't know. It just gets ridiculous at a point, man. But like this year, we've seen so many fucking title rematches. We've seen Grasso Shevchenko 2. We've seen what was the other title rematch? It was like it wasn't a title rematch, but there was Poirier Gaethje 2. But I was alright with that one. That one made sense, so I wasn't too upset with that one. A lot of these rematches, some of these rematches did make sense. I'm not going to shit on the ones that make sense. Obviously, if a rematch makes sense, then yeah, it's the fight to do. But like at the same time, like there's just been fights we didn't need to see this year. Like I don't know, it just shows like laziness in my opinion from the UFC. But like I say, I could be just overreacting here, but I think there needs to be a policy in the UFC matchmaking that you need to just prioritize making fresh matchups. Like, I don't know, it's something in my opinion that these guys aren't going to fight forever, you know. Why keep running them against the same people when there's fights that we might never see because you've missed out on the opportunity to make them? Like, there's just so many fun fights we could have seen that we'll never see now. And that's what does annoy me. Stuff like that annoys me. I know, maybe this is just a me thing. Like, honestly, it could just be a me thing. But just the instant rematches as well after title fights is like a boxing trope. Like, it's something we always constantly see in boxing. I don't want to see this gravitate over to mixed martial arts. Like, I don't, man. Like, I'm so glad we're getting fucking Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. Like, I'm so happy we're getting that matchup. That was the fight that made the most sense. But I'm even more happy that we're not getting a rematch that made no sense with Israel Adesanya and Sean Strickland. Made no sense. Just, yeah. But I don't know. It would have been annoying to see another, like, Israel Adesanya gets constant rematches, title rematches. If he would have got an Actually, I can't say that because he only did get a title rematch against Alex Pereira, which that one did make sense. But fight with Sean Strickland, a rematch there wouldn't have made sense. So I'm glad that didn't end up happening. Because if it did, he just set the narrative where, oh, he beat Strickland again. Not that he would, but you know, oh, he won against Strickland. Now you do him versus Dricus. Oh, he lost to Dricus. Time to run that fight back. Like, I don't know. That would have just set such a bad narrative for title rematches. But yeah, but we've got a lot of fucking title rematches this year, and we're getting Islam versus Charles is probably happening again. I guess that one sort of makes sense, but at the same time, I would have rather Charles get a few more wins before getting like rushed into a rematch. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess I'm just ranting at this point. But I don't know. That's all I've got to say. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Let me know your thoughts. Are you getting sick of all these pointless rematches like I am, or am I just alone here? Because I'm fed up with it, if I'm being honest. But thanks for watching.